Hi everyone, Aaron here for Zollotech, and today Apple released iOS 11.4 Beta 2. This came in at 248.6 megabytes for me. Let's take a look at the build number. You'll see the build is 15F5049C, and this particular build adds only a few small things as far as fixes and things along those lines. So one of the things that was big for me is in the first beta they brought back iMessage in iCloud. So if you go to your account, and under iCloud, you now have a switch here for messages. And before, I couldn't get this to turn on. I was having all sorts of issues with it. It was saying I wasn't using the right account, which I was. I tried different accounts. It works now with Beta 2. So that part's been fixed. I actually reported it through feedback, and they hadn't said they fixed it, but it's working for me now, so that's pretty good. Now, one thing I've noticed in this particular beta after using it for a couple hours is there's quite a few stutters here and there. When I open photos, if I swipe back and forth, sometimes it stutters. If I open up a folder, the first time I did that in this beta, kind of was stuttery. That could have been because it just updated. I'm not sure, but at this point I see some slowdowns here and there at this point. Now the next thing they did is on the iPhone anyway, if you're using one of these cases, these folio cases, you can actually lock and unlock your phone with it. So if I click this into place, similar to what a smart cover does. So if I lock it, open it up, it unlocks for me, or at least wakes up for me, and then I can slide it up and unlock it. Now if you have this case, you can toggle on and off whether or not you want to let it lock or unlock now. So if I toggle that off, unlock it, it doesn't unlock now. I have to wake it up and then unlock it. I can turn it back on. Now the iPad has had this for quite some time due to the smart covers. The iPad's always had this option. If I go to display and brightness, you've got lock and unlock. I looked on previous versions, but on previous iPhones it's not there. On 11.3, for example, you'll see here the same thing. Lock and unlock is not there. This is 11.3 on an iPhone 8 Plus, and it's just not there. So it seems like it's added for the folio cases if you have one of these. Now, the next thing is there's some new wallpapers if you have an 8 or 8 Plus, but not for an iPhone 10. So you've got the previous wallpaper, which is this one. This is for the 8 Plus Product Red Edition or 8 Product Red Edition. It looks really nice in the background. I'll link it in the description below. One thing they've removed is the HomePod stereo pairing using AirPlay 2 in this beta. It's just not there. So if you were having that before, it's going to be gone. Also, one of the things they've done is resolve 4 different bugs. Some of them had to do with streaming videos in YouTube. So if you were streaming videos with YouTube, you were using the YouTube app, streaming videos via AirPlay, audio would lag sometimes, and that's fixed. They also fixed when it was streaming YouTube to an Apple TV, audio could also only show up as audio and no video. That's fixed as well. Playback of music is now fixed, where sometimes it would get stuck at the end of a first track. So maybe you're on a track, you're at the end, it doesn't go to the next track. Also, Shared Web Credentials API would return an error for autofill being disabled. That's now fixed. So those are all the fixes in this beta, and a little bit of a feature update. Not much. Hopefully it's more stable, but I did do a Geekbench to see how fast it is, at least on Geekbench Scores. Let's take a look at that. Now, I ran this immediately after updating, and the scores were lower, which I would expect. So normally I wait a little bit, and I did that, and it went up to 10,281 and 4,215. If we look at the history of CPU, you'll see that that's improved quite a bit from the previous one. So it's good. It's gone up a little bit, and hopefully that stuttering and those sort of things go away. I'll be sure to do a follow-up covering details such as the battery and things like that in a few days after we've tested it. If you're using it, I always expect bad battery the first time, and then I do a follow-up, and usually it's pretty good. Some people had terrible battery on Beta 1. I had fantastic battery, and I posted some of that to Twitter. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you'd like a link to the wallpaper, I'll leave it in the description below, as I always do. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe and like. As always, thanks for watching. This is Aaron. I'll see you next time.